taking up too much time, but in regards to not expressing that I'm a hypnotherapy therapist on social medias, is that still in effect? Like, my niche is health, and I'm, do I want to, in my social media, we just want to talk about results and symptoms, and then on the strategy call, then maybe when they say, well, how do you help me? And then at that point, do I say this, it's going to be a hypnotherapy process. This is how we do it.
Customers are pretty intuitive now. They know what's going on in the world. They know this whole alternative therapy thing is pretty popular. Okay. As soon as, and this is a good point Joel's brought up on social media, as soon as I become the same, I become the same. The same is, I'm going to talk about hypnotherapy. That's what every therapist does. Why the hell do you think you're going to win at this game of business? Not going to happen. As soon as I say I'm a therapist, I sell sessions, I have discounts, I'm now the same as everybody else. I've now red oceaned my entire business. And what average Joe client knows what NLP is or cares? People say, well, I think they want to learn. Someone said to me, I think they want to know both. That's ego saying that. Think about it before, guys, before you became a therapist and had no interest in it. Were you researching it? No. Did you know the difference? No. Did you care about it? No, until you started to. So the average Joe client, like my family, my friends, my close companions who know nothing about this don't care. So they don't know the difference between a hypnotherapist or NLP. They know the difference between Erickson and blah, blah. It doesn't matter. So if that's all I spend my time talking about, I'm now talking to only therapists and other coaches. What I want to talk to my clients about is what is their words? As Brooklyn says, what is their symptoms? What are they worried about? How I solve the problem doesn't matter. I took my car in for a service. I actually had to take it in recently. I use that example, but I didn't ask the mechanic what tools he was going to use. Couldn't care. Fix my car. Something's wrong with it. Fix it. A couple of hours later, I picked it up. It was all good. I don't care how he did it, what tools he used. It got fixed for a very stupid high price, which I'm still angry about, but it is what it is. Does that make sense? So is that any different in 2024? It's the same. Don't talk about being a therapist. Clients don't know, don't care. Only you do. Get rid of the ego.
Got it. So if they ask me what's the mechanism for solving their problem, which was my problem, I know I can solve it because I solved it for myself.
Just tell them I'm going to use.
If they ask me the mechanism, then I bring up. Yeah,
I'm going to use everything I know, but don't get into the weeds of hypnotherapy and Erickson and ACH and because they don't know. Just tell them I'll just use everything I know.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Unless they, it does. It does because, I could see. Well, saying that you're a certified hypnotherapist does lend a provenance of actually, hey, I started at this point and I progressed to this point to a certification.
So who though?
What was that?
So who though?
To the client.
But they don't know the difference between certified, Udemy course, ACH, Erickson, clinical. Yeah. I don't even know the difference between clinical and mainstream hypnosis. There is no difference. Same fucking thing. Here's an example. Last year, believe it or not, I had an allergic reaction to broccoli. Don't have to eat broccoli anymore, thank God. I went to a dermatologist. My body was covered in rash. I had to go to the hospital and go to blah, blah, blah. Went to a dermatologist because the doctors didn't know what it was. All these certificates on the wall, it's the last thing I cared about. I said, I'm fucking itchy. Help me. Give me some cream. Give me something. Fixed. No problem. Brilliant. I don't know her from bar soap. Because I'm in so much pain and desperation, those ideas bypass. She could have said, I'm clinical, advanced. I don't care, lady. Give me some fucking itch cream. Give me something. I'm in pain. That's all.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Very careful with the ego.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? People,
it totally does. Unless they ask, don't bring it up.
Unless they ask, but even then, be very vague. If I'm talking to Brooklyn and I say, Brooklyn, well, how are you going to help me? She's going to say, all my experience, everything I know. I'm going to give you all of that. Let's just get it done. I'm never going to say, you're going to use Erickson or you're going to use this. Never happen because I don't know that stuff.
So I said my niche is health. It's actually type 2 diabetes, reversing type 2 diabetes. Awesome. I was pre-diabetic, became fairly diabetic. but because of all the knowledge that I gained through my investigations, I actually reversed type 2. I'm not diabetic at
Awesome.
all. I've
Awesome.
reversed it. So I'm confident I can do that for someone else. So I don't even know. I lost my train of thought, but yeah. So that I'm confident that I can solve a problem. So when I put it out there, I don't want to. I'm selling so people know, hey, keto diet, carnivore diet, cut carbs, no sugar. That will do it. No one does it.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people solve it. They stay on medications.
Yep.
They become effective over time. It's a big problem. 10 years off your life, average type 2 diabetes loses. So there's a big pain point.
Sure.
And yeah, so my content's going to be
proving your points.
Thing. What was that?
Your content proves your knowledge. That's all it should do.
Okay.
You've got to be very careful with medical claims and all that stuff. Just be aware of that.
Yeah.
Okay. And medication talk on that. But if you look at my social media, all I'm doing is just proving my point over and over. And eventually it clicks and people get it. That's it.
And going along the lines of not talking about myself, because I'm not wanting to do that, but I am my own proof. I did do that. I could show testing. I've tested above. Now I test below. So there is validation. I can show that.
Okay.
But in that context, if we don't want to be talking about ourselves, they don't care. But in this specialty niche, would they care that I said, I've done it for myself, or do I want to bring that up?
3% of your social media can be about yourself. That already is miles.
What I was saying.
No, I get what you're saying.
Go ahead.
There's this whole idea that I've got a special niche. Forget about that. There's no such thing. That's in your head. Every niche can be summarized as the same thing. It's pain. If you want to talk about yourself, so validity, sure. But don't make a habit of that's all you talk about, which is a good thing, because that's what every other therapist and coach talks about as themselves. No one cares. 97%, 98% of your time, just prove your knowledge, sprinkle in what you've done and some validation, but don't make it the hot topic every time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, absolutely. So when I'm sprinkling that in, do I want my content and validating my knowledge would be, so this is kind of the crux of it, is that there are keto diet, carnivore diet. That's basics, right? If you followed those, you would solve your type 2 diabetes. I know how to baseline people through I fast and things like that, and it can be done. Do I want to talk my content on saying just straight up, if you did carnivore, keto, and nuance in between that, but people know, that's kind of what I'm saying. People know that if you did this and you can do this, and this is free giveaway, do these things and you can do it. But the crux of it is that even though people know how to do it, or there's so much, if there's almost too much information out there on that they need me to do the therapy in order to get their mindset to follow those things.
And that's your differentiation.
Right.
Good thing. It's like, how many people know they need to charge more than $1,500? Even people in this course, and they still don't do it. Just because there's information out there doesn't mean they'll do it. So don't worry about, should my content be this? Talk about everything, because you're going to have to post a lot. Don't run out of content. But your differentiation can be, keto aside, it may work for X amount of people. Where I'm different is we add this element in and look at the results. Here's the proof. This is why. This is what I've done. Here's how you can. That's the angle I want to come from. So with ACH training, I say, let's get rid of the sessions and the time. Let's make things really, really quick without the scripts. That was my differentiation. When I first talked about that, whole industry backlash, hated me. But too late now, and do it now. I've got enough following and enough proof that it actually works. Doesn't matter what I say, as far as whether they believe it or not, I've got proof to back it up. Does that make sense?
Hey, Scott, well, it makes sense. And I just wanted to say, to express some gratitude for you, man. I found your course. Awesome. I really appreciate it. It's awesome that we're talking. I never thought that would happen.
Tony Robbins.
Man, you're doing good. Yeah. What was that?
Tony Robbins style. Yeah. Halo effect. Yeah. That's my pleasure.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's cool. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. See, for trainers out there, Udemy does seem to work really well. I think it's in week 3 or week 4. I'll give you that. Okay. Any other questions, guys?